I've been really torn on whether I should talk about this topic. I've even considered making a series or a playlist on my channel about recovering from being, recovering from being in a narcissistic relationship. And like, one thing is I don't want to, because I just completely want to forget about it, turn away from it, and never think about it again. Legit. There's a part of me that wants to do that. Another part of me wants to be there to support. And I realize, like, it's not necessary that I do this. I don't think people, survivors, victims, are... I don't think they should have to be the one who are defending and like inspiring others who are going through it. Yet the fact is, so many people who have also been through this have talked about their experience, and it has helped me so much that that part of me wants to do the same thing, to help you understand that you're not crazy for having been through something like that. In my case, was horrific, traumatizing, and life-threatening a few times. On top of it, I don't know, this is where I feel like drawn to talk about this. I'm like, it's very emotional for me, so it's hard. Okay, let me get my thoughts together. It's just like, if you've been somebody who's been in a narcissistic relationship, either, like for me, in my case, romantic partner, your case, maybe parent, family, the systems are getting more and more like this, like any kind of vampiric system that is siphoning your energy, treating you as a doormat. This can be applied to, in a sense. But with narcissism, it's even like more severe. If a person is narcissistic, there's quite a few different narcissistic traits you can sort of pinpoint and see if they are. Some narcissists have all the traits, some have a few, and that is actually helpful information to know and understand whatever your own personal situation is. So I would look up, what are the traits, what are the different kinds of narcissism. So yeah, for me, he was a covert narcissist. His main play constantly was gaslighting. It was very, very clear that he found pleasure and joy in other people's pain. It was super, super clear, at least when you were with him a lot. It actually wasn't even clear to me because I wasn't spending a lot of time with this person. They were gone like all of the time. But then certain horrific circumstances happened. And then once they started to show more and more who they were, it became very clear that a lot of the times before, they were like an actor on a stage, playing this I'm so good role, playing the hero, and then behind closed doors, as their actions got worse and worse, you saw that they found great pleasure in legitimately harming people. And to me, that's very clear trait of narcissism. So that's not simply siphoning energy, that's kind of some next level stuff, but they all do relate. And so anyone who feels that they're in a system where they're being treated unfairly, inhumanely, or with a person or in a family, like, those are the kind of people I want to have these kind of conversations with. I want to speak out to about. Yeah, I'm also scared too, because it is often the survivors who speak out that are punished more, which silences us more and digs us into a hole more. So you speak, and that can have negative repercussions. You don't say a word, and you're gaslit like crazy, and they can spread whatever rumors they're spreading about you. So yeah, like if you're going through this, the therapist I was with at the time, she was amazing. She was amazing, guys. I was so like I'm almost in tears because I was so lucky to have her. As he tried to put me in the psych ward, and this therapist was like, no, absolutely not. Like, this is like the equivalency of a 1950s man trying to lobotomize his wife. This is not happening. And so she like I'm so glad she was there for me when I was going through the thick of it. But yeah, she told me, like, look up all of the traits, see which ones apply to him, and then see how that relates to you, and then you can see what's actually going on. And so yeah, like anyone going through this, even if you like lightly feel like you're being treated unfairly, like, you have to understand that you're not crazy for wanting to be treated humanely. Like, your standard for how you've been treated, the bar is in hell when you're with somebody this bad. The repercussions of this person's actions can perpetuate for years. In some cases, I think even generations. But saying that is also quite overwhelming, so I don't want to just like freaking overwhelm you more, you know? And so how do we handle this when it is that severe? How? And it's just step by step. I think one thing that can be good is tapping into your desire for peace, because that's truly who you are. You don't find joy in other people's suffering. You find joy in caregiving and loving and kindness and reciprocal interactions, in meeting each other in differences in your relationships, in whatever craft you do, in your hobbies. You find joy in those things. Let those positive things that bring you joy and peace grow, because that's going to be your strong point. That's going to be your strength. That's going to be so important. It could be reading. It could be a lot of things, but it's always a balance between like addressing damage assessment, looking it in the face of what this person's actually doing to you, so that you don't let them get in your head. You don't let them tell you you're crazy. And they have a motive to do that. They want to hide what they've done to you. And because they want to hide that, they're going to tell everyone that nothing you say is right, so that nobody trusts you. And if they can convince people of that, then they don't have to have any accountability for what they've done. They can continue their horrible behavior towards people behind closed doors. They can get people in that trap. And so they have a huge motivation to make you think that you are not seeing things the right way, to make you think that you're crazy. That's their motivation. And so in realizing that, then you can assess where you actually are at, and you have to filter them out of the picture, because the way they're telling you that you are is a lie. And so if you listen to nothing else in this video, understand this. Even if there's negative repercussions going on in your life, horrible things still happening to you, years after you've maybe even broken up with them, even with whether you're with them, whether you're not with them, it's not your fault, and you're not crazy. It is not your fault, and you are not crazy for wanting peace. That's really what they're going to try to convince you of, okay? And yes, things are not going to be going right, but that's because they've actively caused you harm and continue to do so as much as possible. You have to realize that happens. That's what they're doing.